is now being recorded. And if you do not wish to be recorded, just please exit. The recording will be made available at libguides.utep.edu/SC workshops. My name is Les Arms. I've been the STEM librarian here at UTEP for about 8 years now. I'm part of the scholarly communication team, and I absolutely love open access and am very interested in it and making research available to people who need it or want it. By the end of the webinar, you should understand what you can and cannot do under a traditional publishing agreement, and understand how to modify the agreement to keep more of your rights. If you have any questions at any time, please just put them in the chat. I am monitoring that. All right, so you have a traditional article contract. You've published with a traditional publisher, not open access. You didn't do anything to the contract. And I'm gonna bet a good amount of money, or a lot of money actually, that you don't own the copyright to your article. So let's talk about what you can do when you don't own the copyright. You wrote it, but you don't have the rights. All of the things you think you can do, you probably can't do anymore. Things you're allowed to do are what falls under fair use and the things the publisher decided to give you. So what you can do is you can send a copy to an individual who asks. Somebody, says, hey, I'd like a copy of your article, you can give it to them. This actually may not be legal, but you can do it anyway. You could share it with students if you're sharing it like it's an article that you didn't write, such as if you use password protections or just whatever you would do. Put it on Course Reserve, put it in Blackboard, but you can't just send it out to all of your students. You can submit it to a preprint, submit the preprint to a preprint server like Archive, bioRxiv, Authoria, any of the others. Preprints are the journal or the article before the journals put their formatting on them, maybe before they've made some changes. But you cannot put the final version anywhere. You cannot put the final version in Archive. You cannot put the final version in Digital Commons or ScholarWorks, as it's called now. So other things you can't do, you cannot put the full version on your personal website. There are a lot of professors who do this. And publishers keep sending out cease and desist orders to professors who they find doing this, because the professors don't have the right to do that anymore. You can't put it in a university repository or any of the preprint servers or servers. Basically anything other than direct or password protected sharing is just not going to happen, or not legally going to happen. Can get you in trouble. All right, so let's talk about when you do own the copyright, whether it's because you published open access or because you adjusted the publishing agreement. You can deposit it in an archive. You can build it into a book chapter. You can distribute it to your students, to your colleagues, to your entire university. Never, ever distribute it to your entire university. But legally speaking, you could do that. You can post it to your website. You can link it on Google. It's up to your imagination what you can do with it. Whoops. About the only thing you can't do with it is publish it in another journal, because no journal is going to publish something that's already been published. But that's about it. So let's talk about how to keep your copyright. If you publish open access, you will generally keep your copyright. One of the biggest ebook, sorry, not ebook, open access libraries is called is called the Directory of Open Access Journals. And it will only list journals that publish with a Creative Commons license that allows for reuse and reuse and lets the authors retain a lot of their rights, or if not all of their rights. All right, but let's say you're publishing with Nature or any of the traditional publishers. Then Spark is the best way for you to go here. Spark offers this excellent publishing addendum that will help you keep your rights, and it is available here, this link. There's information about it. There's the addendum. And number 4 here is the important part. It's the author's retentions of rights. And the author retains the right to reproduce, distribute, publicly perform, publicly display the article in any medium for non-commercial purposes. Prepare derivative works. The right to authorize others to make non-commercial use of the article, so long as the author receives credit as the author, and the journal in which the author has been published is cited as the first publication of the article. All right. This covers everything you want to do with it, presumably. So what you're going to do with it is you fill out this one-page addendum. It's really short, very simple. Where'd it go? Yeah. See? One page, very little that you need to fill out. I'm not sharing my PDF. Sorry, guys. Share screen. Okay, now you can see the addendum to the publication agreement. This is the whole agreement. It's very short. There's very little you need to fill out. Very easy. You just return that with the publishing contract, with the publishing agreement. And from there, your publisher may decide, you know what, I don't like this. I want to keep all of the rights. And if they decide that, you know, they don't want to publish your article with the addendum, you have to decide whether it's more important to retain control over your work or to publish in that journal. And there's no one who can tell you which is better for you. I have strong feelings about that, but that's because I'm an open access and information spread kind of person. All right, and that is it. I hope I lasted 5 minutes. Ooh, 10 minutes. All right, what questions do you have for me?
Hi, Les.
Hi.
I have a question. Actually, it's from the other student, and I couldn't answer that because of it's kind of, I guess, special case.
Mm-hmm.
I think In general, you say previously under fair use guidelines, sending a copy to an individual who asks it should be okay, right?
Yes.
And I think the situation she was asking me is she has a book review, not a research article, like that called Sorkai. So I think it's a little bit different. And she is putting it on a like not personal web page. It's more like, let's say, ResearchGate or
Mm-hmm.
different kind of research author website. And then suddenly somebody was asking her if she can send a copy of that book review to the person, and she was not sure what to do, or is this appropriate or not. So what would you say in this case, and also for the case of if it is a research paper which is involving, let's say, I guess it's like an undergrad. Oh, hey.
Sorry, my cat has
Undergrad.
been very
No,
needy for the past half hour.
that's fine. Don't worry. I love it. And then, yeah, that's why I want to know the difference, because I can see maybe for book review is a little bit more like kind of relaxing this type of rule, but I'm not so sure about with the research paper. Hope you can answer these
Yeah.
things.
All right. So if you've published it, if you just like put it on ResearchGate or something, there are no restrictions as to where you can send it. So you don't have to worry about that. And see, I think that if publishers had their way, we wouldn't be able to send even a copy of our articles to other researchers. But that's just, it's too important to the spread of information and to the spread of science that we be able to send it to people who request that. um, I lost my train of thought. Um, we
So you mean like basically they shouldn't be able to track if you send to someone?
Yeah, they
Is that-
cannot track if you send it to
Oh,
someone unless they set up like a sting. And if they set up a sting, you can always say, I'm doing this under fair use. I'm I have the right to send it to one person.
I see.
And if they
Okay.
try to argue against it, I mean, they're basically saying that they have no interest in how science works, or sorry, not science, um, the spread of information in general. I'm a science librarian. My mind is stuck on the spread of science, and
Okay. Sounds good. So I do see people posting their article like on ResearchGate, and it's kind of like many of them. So you wouldn't advise us that, right?
I wouldn't post it in a way that you can be traced back to you.
Great. I see.
I have no objections to personally posting it on ResearchGate. Um, but legally you shouldn't do it. All right, I would like to point out that this does not qualify as legal advice. I am not, I know nothing about the law in general. I'm just good with this. And I can tell you that if they can trace it back to you, if you logged into your account and said, yes, this is me, I totally swear that this is me, and I'm giving this article to you, um, and they can prove that that was in fact you, um, you can get into some serious trouble. They'll make
I
you take
see.
it down.
Right.
But if you want to anonymously, without logging in, upload it, they can't do anything about that except send a cease and desist order to ResearchGate. Or maybe it's not a cease and desist. I think it's a DCMA, a copyright claim, and have it taken down. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Thanks so much.
Any other questions? Okay, well, if there are no other questions, or if you come up with questions later, drop me a line at laarms@utep.edu. And if there are no other questions, I'm going to go bundle up again because it is very cold in my house. So thank you both for coming.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You
Bye.
too. Stay safe and stay warm.
Thank you.
Let's see here. How do I?